everyone. Hello. Welcome home. It's good to see everyone. We've had some snowy time, haven't we? It's good to have some nice sunshine outside, no wind to complicate things. It's nice to see things melting off, and we kind of see spring coming around the corner. That's going to be really nice. My friends and relatives down in Texas and California continue to whine and complain about their beautiful weather. So I'm here to once again tell everybody how fantastic it is to be in South Dakota. Hey, I do want to say thank you to Pancheros for providing our food today. Pancheros, our good friends there, always do a fantastic job for us. I noticed that when everybody has their lunch here, things go pretty silent. So that tells you that the food is good. So Pancheros, Paul and Leah, thank you very much. We appreciate you so much. We've got a few things going on. I want to once again underscore that we have multiple golf tournaments coming up. Saturday, April 7th, down in Scottsdale, Arizona, we have the Mines Masters. That's on a Saturday. The website for that is live. You can go ahead and register for that. We already have lots of people registering, so if you want to get in on that, sooner rather than later is a good thing. Then on Friday, April 20th, leading into spring football weekend, again that Friday, we have the Alumni Golf Tournament. That's going to be held out at the Golf Club at Red Rock, the #1 golf course in the state of South Dakota. I highly encourage people to sign up for that as well. Our registration site for that is open as well. Then a little bit later on, Monday, June 4th, the Community Golf Classic, the Hardrocker Community Golf Classic, will be held here in town at Arrowhead Country Club. That will be our big push to help continue to fund our scholarships and continue to fund our athletic department and push the agenda forward on our continuing efforts to strive to put our best foot forward. All three of those websites to register for those golf tournaments can be accessed through the Hardrock Club website, hardrockclub.org. Just scroll to the bottom. There's a big article about all the golf tournaments and with links to every one of those golf tournaments. And then there's another golf tournament that's just getting put together that I've mentioned in passing before, but on Saturday, June 30th in Douglas, Wyoming, we will have the Travis Roy Memorial Golf Tournament. And that goes along with the Travis Roy Memorial Endowment for men's and women's golf. We'll be raising more money for the men's and women's golf programs. So again, that's June 30th. Over in Douglas, Wyoming, not too far from here, but a good chance to benefit the Hard Rockers, benefit men's and women's golf, and also get out and play a little bit of a different course. We do have Alumni Weekend coming up, the weekend of April 20th and 21st, as I kind of alluded to. Again, that Friday we'll have the Alumni Golf Tournament. That Saturday we will have our spring football game, and we'll also have a gathering afterwards at Murphy's Pub. What's going on tonight? All right, we've got postseason play. Women's basketball has traveled to Pueblo. They left yesterday. They got there to get a good night of sleep and get their legs fresh for their game tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. against Pueblo. That game will be on Stretch Internet, so you can listen to it, you can watch it live. I highly encourage folks to do that. If anybody's out in the Pueblo area, we are giving 25 points away through Club 135 app to any and all people who go and check in at the event. So if you're in Colorado somewhere, please go to the game and support the Hard Rockers in their quest to go win the RMAC tournament. Tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. What else we have ahead? Certainly after we win tonight, then the next game's on Friday, so we'll pump out information about that. Men's and women's track and field, they will be away March 9th through 11th at NCAA Indoor Championships, which are going to be held down in Pittsburgh, Kansas. And then just to kind of put this on your radar screens, a couple of months down the road on Saturday, April 14th, track and field has their home meet, the Bower Invitational, here on campus at O'Hara Stadium. So we hope folks come out for that. That's a great chance to see some high-level, very athletic student athletes do their thing. So we hope to see you out there for that. Without further ado, let's bring up our track and field men's and women's head coach, Jerry Schafer.
Thank you. I'd also like to thank Pancheros. I love Pancheros. He's one of my favorites. So thank them. I want to wish the women's basketball team well tonight. We are a little bit conflicted because Ryan Weiss is going to come out for track after the basketball season, but we do want them to continue on in the playoffs as long as possible. So that's a good thing. We wish them well. We're going to support them and watch that game tonight. So a little bit about our meet last weekend. It's been a couple of weeks. We had a meet at Black Hills State, and then last weekend was the RMAC Championship in Golden, Colorado. And just to kind of remind everyone, as high as we finished in the past with the men. I think the women have been in that range during the indoor season ever since we've been in the RMAC. So not a lot of progress in that direction in the overall team scoring, but we did have some pretty cool performances that I want to highlight as well. I thought our kids really brought a lot of energy and intensity to the meet. Did a really good job when they competed and in the events they competed in. We were not outmanned. First time we ran an indoor championship at the RMAC, some of our kids were just overwhelmed. We were overwhelmed with the quality of competition. It's no longer like that. You know, we're no longer the dead last athletes in each event kind of thing. We are getting up in there and competing and doing well and even scoring. So I was pleased with the way our 31 athletes brought the intensity this weekend. So out of the weekend, we got a new school record in the women's weight throw. Jaylin Jarnagin. I had so much fun watching her on her last throw move up from, I believe it was 8th to 5th place with just a tremendous throw, about a meter further than she had thrown in the prelim. And what you're watching is Jack Batho throwing the weight throw, and we'll talk a little bit about him next. But out of the meet this weekend, we had 2 national provisional marks. Jack improved his shot put national provisional mark, and then Ty Nickerson in the pole vault went 15.6 and got a provisional mark as well. So those were a couple of the highlights. Jack, now you're watching him in the shot. He actually won the shot put. He went in ranked, I believe, 4th in the shot put, 3rd in the weight throw, and he ended up 2nd in the weight throw, 2 centimeters behind the champion, which is 2 centimeters, like an inch or less. And he ended up 1st in the shot put, beating all the 3 guys that were ranked ahead of him. So there he is on the stand, and so he had a very, very good day. Was one of the top individual scoring athletes in the meet with 18 points. And then as well in the weight throw on the first day, Wes Seagraff, who's one of our juniors, hit a personal best as well and finished 7th in that event. Moving down the line, in the shot put on the second day to start us out, we had Cody Allen finished 5th for us behind Jack. And Cody's a freshman from Cheyenne, Wyoming, and also a personal best in the shot. He improved by over 2 feet from his previous best throw the week before at Black Hills State, and he threw the 16-pound shot over 51 feet. So a very, very good throw for a freshman. We were really excited about that. Jayla already mentioned 5th place in the weight throw. Another freshman in the shot put, Logan McGow, finished 8th for us. He went into the finals, had a personal best to get into the finals, was 9th rated in the finals, so he threw first in order, and ended up moving up in the order and scored points for us. So that was a huge performance as well. Ty Nickerson, I mentioned him in the third getting provisional mark and going 15 feet 6 inches. Ty finished 8th for us, so if you can imagine, 15.6, which is the third best vault all-time South Dakota Mines vault, and he ended up 8th overall. There were, I believe, 3 or 4 athletes that were over 16 feet. One of them was making attempts at 17 feet in his final attempts to win the championship. So it was a very competitive event as well. Then one of the other surprises, Wyatt Kynes is a sophomore high jumper for us, and Wyatt just had a phenomenal day. He took 12 jumps, which for high jump or pole vault, any bar events, that many jumps is really difficult. And Wyatt took 12 jumps to clear a personal best 6 foot 6 inches. He moved on to the Mines top 10 list as well with his 6 foot 6 jump. Finished 6th overall. Defeated some jumpers, quite a few jumpers that were rated higher than him going into the meet. So, again, those were examples of how the kids brought the intensity and competed very, very well this weekend. So, just to kind of summarize, we did have 8 personal bests in the competition. 7 people got on the Mines or moved up on the Mines top 10 list in their events. Again, the 3 people that were qualified for nationals provisionally, Jack Batho in both the shot and the weight throw. Jack won't be attending the national championship. You have to be top 18 on the national performance list to get into that event. So Jack was 22nd in the shot put with his big throw over 56 feet this weekend, and he was 24th in the weight throw. So he didn't make it into the national. Ty Nickerson ended up 48th in the pole vault, so he didn't make it in. And Erica Keeble, who we talked about 2 weeks ago, who was really coming on in the women's pole vault, she finished out the indoor season 40th in the pole vault, so she's not going to get into the national championship either. But they all hit a performance that got them at least qualified for the national championship, and then to get into the meet, you actually have to be top 18. So that kind of recaps our indoor season. We've already started training for outdoor. We had a team meeting yesterday and already started practices at 6:30 this morning, getting ready for the outdoor season, which we will open in Boulder, Colorado, March, I believe, 17th and 18th, or possibly sooner than that. So third weekend in March, that's how I remember it. Any questions? Yeah.
In the shot, what's the best in the country?
Best in the country is well over 60 feet, so it's pretty aggressive. Jack improved his previous best throw. Outdoors as a freshman, he threw 54 feet 10 inches. He'd thrown 54 feet even indoors this season, and so he improved on that by over 2 feet at the conference championship. So he really put together a series of great throws. In fact, the men's shot put was really interesting because we had 5 athletes, Wes Seabrath and another freshman, Matt Swanson, were also in the conference shot put competition. And out of those 5 of the 18 in the competition, we had 3 make it into the top 9 in the finals, and those 3 all had personal bests, and those 3 also scored points. So and that was kind of a highlight for us. Both the weight throw was the first event on the first day, shot put was the first event on the second day, and that crew on our team really got us going and got the energy flowing for the rest of the team. So it kind of built our energy a little bit. So, yeah.
I think you told us Wyatt had 12 jumps, ended up at 6'6".
Right.
Where did he start?
He's, off the top of my head, I don't remember. Opening height was, I believe, 5'11". So he took, I believe, 2 attempts at the opening height, and then I think he took his 3 attempts at each subsequent height. And then at what would have been a national provisional qualifying mark at 2.03 meters, which would be roughly 6'7" and 3/4. He went out at that height and missed all 3 times. His 3rd attempt, we weren't sure what he hit the bar with because we thought he cleared it cleanly, and then the bar just kind of dribbled off the standards. So really, really good performance. But it's hard for an athlete in those bar events to take that many quality attempts, and so you don't see that very often at those higher heights. So, okay, I have 2 guests real quickly. Jaylin Jarnagin is here with us, 5th in the weight throw, and the school record holder in the weight throw and in the indoor shot put. And then Cody Allen, our freshman from Cheyenne as well. So they're going to come up and introduce themselves, tell you where they're from, and field questions. So thank you.
Like Coach said, I'm Jaylin Jarnagin. I'm at my 3rd year at Mines studying chemical engineering, and I'm from Eaton, Colorado.
I'm Cody Allen. I'm from Cheyenne, Wyoming. This is my 1st year here, so I am a freshman, and I'm from Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Any questions for us?
What are you studying?
Civil engineering.
You both do the weight throws?
Yes. Weight throws indoor and hammer throw. We're starting real soon for outdoors, so looking forward to that one.
What do you do to get like 2 feet improvement? I mean, how do you, what, I don't know. I think about
So this is definitely our biggest meet we have, and so just with the adrenaline, I guess at the smaller meets, all of our teammates are everywhere doing their thing, but this meet they really space it out, and there's about 1 event going on, so everyone was there to watch and cheer us on, so that was really awesome.
I'd say that a bigger part of that would be how intense you have to be to know you have to move up in competition. And instead of just staying where you are, you know that you have that mentality where you have to move up. So I think that was a really big part of how we make those improvements.
In the throws, so you're given 3 throws, and the top 9 get to go on to finals and get 3 more throws. So both me and Cody were in the first flight and had to sit and bite our nails waiting to see how everyone else did to get to finals. So.
Did you throw weight in high school?
Oh no. Colorado, we the hammer throw, the weight throw, the javelin. That's just not something we do in high school. So.
Tell them what events you do outdoors as well.
Outdoor, I just do hammer instead of weight. That's a little shot put.
Are you still working the javelin?
I'm not. Not anymore.
And in the outdoor, I'm going to start working on weight here soon with it. I also do shot put and discus.
What do you like better, indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor, the weight's real heavy, so the hammer's much lighter, and when it's good weather, it's a lot better too.
I'd say in indoor I do like the shot put better, but in outdoor I have more variety in discus. And I would say that's one of my better events, so I'd say that I like outdoor more, but in specific terms of just shot put, I would have to say indoor.
Did you say how much you shot weight?
16 pounds.
For the females, it's just 8.
Since you started from scratch here at the mines, how long does it take before you can throw the weight where it's supposed to go?
I think it's taken me 3 years. Last year we got Cody Allen from SDSU, and he's been a tremendous help. One thing about weight throw and hammer throw is it's a completely different kind of footwork. So it's something something new to learn.
It's really hard to build yourself off of that when you have no experience whatsoever with it. So I'd say that it does take a while, and I'd say I can't answer this question because I have not reached that point yet. That's so
Are you saying you didn't learn this in high school?
How much training, running do you do to get ready? You know, we know you throw and you gotta be strong, but how much conditioning in that part of it do you do?
Not enough.
I'll tell Coach Long about that.
No, yeah, most of our training is in the weight room, explosive work, instead of the conditioning part. I don't know if we need to tell Coach Long.
I'd say the conditioning is builder really would only help in the hammer event because it's like small bursts of energy that you go through. It's not necessarily a long grind out type of slow when it comes to drum.
Anything else for us?
Questions? Well, you've still got them. All right, thank you, you guys.
Thank you guys.
You guys, thank you. We're very proud to have our student athletes come in. Next up, Jason Henry. Come tell us about a wrap-up of men's basketball. Jason.
Yeah, we, like Kevin said, we are wrapped up now. We kind of went out with a bang. Talked to most of you guys through here, and it was a pretty exciting game. We'll get to that in a few minutes, and then we do have a young man here to talk real quick again. As far as going back, I guess 2 weeks since we did have that storm last week, we did play a good Western State game, or a team. And was our seniors' last game, and they did a lot of good things for us. Brian Orr is one of our seniors that had a great weekend this past weekend, including that game. And then Jordan Root, you know, a young man that, you know, I guess he's been up here one time. He's a team captain of ours, you know, playing behind some pretty good players, some pretty special players, especially, you know, with Troy Brady and Jake Heath, guys that you guys are familiar with and things. But we had a bunch of sickness and, you know, all these fun things that went through that game, and he got some opportunities to play, and he stepped up and I think he had 11 or 13 points in the first half and kept us in the game and did a lot of great things for us. So I couldn't have been more excited about Jordan, and he comes to practice every day and competes every day and does a lot of great things. And you know, for him to go out there and knock down the shots and you know, to do his part to help the team, as we always talk about, and that's a big part of our program, and he definitely stepped in and did what he needed to do, as we've done with the rest of our guys too. You know, we've had, like we talked about plenty this year, a number of injuries, the sickness that was just crazy. I finally caught it. I thought it was tougher than that, but I definitely wasn't. You know, it dropped me for, it's been almost 2 weeks now, a week and a half, and you know, if they felt just half as bad as I felt for a few days, and they're out there competing and grinding through it, and having other teammates step up, I can't say enough about these guys. So you know, it's pretty exciting to see Jordan do that. And then we did go on the road this past weekend, headed down to Denver and played Regis, which was a top team in the conference. I think they had finished up second, but one of the top teams in the region as well. We knew we were going to have our hands full. Excuse me. We did a lot of good things in that game. Turned it over too much in the first half, though. That was probably the only difference in the game, honestly, much less the first half. We just turned it over way too much. Ended up cutting it to, I believe, 4 with a couple minutes to go in that game. Ended up winning the second half and just playing pretty well to finish it. But couldn't get over the hump. You know, kind of been our MO, so to speak, this year is we've had good first halves. We've had good sections in the games and done a lot of great things, and then just haven't been able to hold on at the end, and/or, you know, teams, very good teams, go on some runs, and we can't go on those runs with them. And you know, it was kind of the other way against Regis, you know, where we went on our runs and got the stops that we needed and rebounds. You know, we always talk about getting stops and rebounds. We got to add that to it sometimes. But that was kind of our Achilles heel going in the first half, is turned it over too much. Then the second half, I think they ended up with almost, I think, 12 offensive rebounds in the game, which is way too many. But 5 of them, I believe, came in 2 possessions. and in those possessions, they ended up with a 3, and they ended up with a 2. So you get 4 attempts or 3 attempts at the shots. It's gonna great chance that's gonna end up going in. So, but other than that, I couldn't be more happy with the way we played, the way we competed, and just kind of carry that over. You just never know. I mean, I can go on and on and on, and I talked a little bit about it with this year and not getting the wins that we wanted, and we felt like we could get, and being there and doing some things, in the win column, but our guys have stuck with it, and that's one of the things that you can't say enough about a team and a young man and or young woman, and how do they react to adversity? And our guys have got so much adversity this year with a number of things, but then it comes to wins and losses, which we all look at, and we want to make sure that we win more games and that kind of thing. But a lot of times it affects you so much when you go into the classroom, but definitely on the basketball court. You kind of feel bad, and you're kind of walking around. We talk about our chin being 3 inches higher. Instead of walking down like this, we call it. I think we talked about this before, but Nintendo neck. When your head's down all the time, playing video games and stuff. But we talk about our 3 inch up with our chin and walking around like that. And I think our guys continue to do that for the most part, as we saw going into just the last weekend of the year, and competing like that against Regis. And then Shattered came, and I knew we had a great opportunity as a team that was kind of like us, struggled throughout the year. I talked to their athletic director during the game, not during the game, but before the game, during the women's game, and he talked a lot about the things that they had gone through with injuries, and but just their kids kept competing too, and he was so happy with that. And I said, yeah, it sounds like us. That's his. You got a great group of guys. He knew we were young. They got some young guys that are out there playing as well, and it was just nice. To have 2 teams out there that weren't playing to get to a conference tournament. They were just playing for pride, and for it to end like that, in a good basketball game, it was very well played. There's a few turnovers here, but guys going out and making plays and doing some of those things that it was great to be part of, and I know our guys were excited. Now, as we talk about it, we'll go through some video from Brad here on it and all those kind of things as well. I think is that all that you had is for the Shattered game, the highlights of that? So we'll go through that in a second, but you get to that last game of the year, and you still want to go out with a win for the seniors. Our guys are playing their tails off. They just want to win some games and keep getting better. And I felt like that too. As we talked about that weekly. It's not just about going out and finishing the season now. We're trying to get better still. We know we got a lot of freshmen and sophomores that are playing. We're just not going to go through the motions, and it felt like Troy can talk more about that. But it felt like we still got better throughout the year, and we were excited on that part of it. And it finished with a bang. But saying all that, you go into 3 overtimes. You play your tails off. You find ways to get the job done, or find ways to if you turn it over and miss a couple free throws or miss a shot or don't get the defense to stop. Bottom line is you go 3 overtimes and you don't win. It's a long week. It's a long week kind of thing. And the fact that we fought through all that and got the W, I was very excited. So real quick on some of the highlights from that game. Our seniors, I'll talk about again here, did definitely step up again. Go ahead. Brian Orr, it ended up with 22 points. He did fall out of this game. Wilford Dixon had an exceptional game. He's another freshman that's played a ton of minutes and started a lot for us. Had some highlights right off the bat. Trey Smith, another freshman right there. Has had some big games for us this year. Jay Keith, obviously, that we've seen him the last couple years, knocking down some big-time shots. And just a huge hustle play by Brian Orr. He knows this is his last game of the year. He's busting his tail. And then Jordan Rude right here, too. Finds a way to run a little set for him right there and finds a way to score. And then Brian Orr again kind of taking over at the end of the game. Like I said, unfortunately, he was our leading scorer and fouled out. Jack hits a big 3 there. He was actually hurt and didn't play almost the whole second half. With the fall trouble and guys out, we needed a guy to get in there, and he's like, heck yeah, I'll do that, coach, let's go play. And he ended up sucking it up and going. And Troy Brady, another one, getting to the basket. That's one of the things when you shoot so well, you're going to get opportunities to get to the basket, and Troy's really improved in that area. Huge shot at the end by Jake Heath. Another one, he's fighting through some stuff at the end of the game and fighting through some injuries and things, and found a way to knock down the shot. He didn't know how it went in. And then we run a set right here for Troy Brady. Big Shot Brady, we're going to call him now. All right, so that's his new nickname, but we're like, hey, let's put the ball in his hands. That one, we're drawing it up and just talking about, which guy's here, which guy's on the floor. All we literally needed to do is get the ball inbounded on the correct side of the floor. And the way the ball had gone, and this probably isn't the best thing to be thinking about as a coach and things and that kind of stuff at the end, but tell them exactly what we want to do and just throw the ball. And all we say is you just have to touch it, just touch it. Well, he goes out there and I sat down and I go, just don't trip, We throw the ball down there, and the next thing you know, we're 3 overtimes, and I'm going, holy cows, run into each other and something happens. But luckily, he stayed on his feet and just recovered the ball and ran out the clock and got us our W. So great way to end the year. I couldn't be more proud of the guys in so many different aspects of the game. I could go on and on and on about them and the adversity that they've been through this year and the things that they found a way to keep competing. And then you get to a game like that, and it just shows you, we had a 10-point lead, and they had an 8-point lead, and we were down, I think, 7, I believe, in one of the overtimes. I mean, just crazy stuff, and our guys are just like, the heck with this, we're going to find a way to win, and I couldn't be more proud of them to give that effort out there. So, any quick questions before we get Troy up here? And yes.
When's the last time you were in a triple overtime?
You know what? I don't remember. We've never been in one since I've been here. I know Brad, I believe you looked it up, right? And you went back years and years and years. And we haven't found that. Sometimes though, when you do results and stuff, it might only say overtime kind of thing. And so we don't know exactly what that is. But I know I haven't been a part of one, here or in my life. That's been 3 overtimes. I've been in plenty of 2 overtimes, but it's a pretty cool deal. And it's amazing when you look at guys, they come off of a road trip and, down in Denver, which wasn't bad. I mean, for us, is a pretty close road trip when you're only 6.5 hours away. Jump in the bus afterwards, get there at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, go play a basketball game that night, then I think Troy played 50-some minutes. He's playing 50-some minutes, and I'm just crazy enough to call a set for him to shoot a 3. When your legs are gone and that kind of stuff, and obviously we got all the faith and the trust in the world in our guys, and he knocked down that shot for us. So that's saying a lot about a young man. Anything else?
What was Shadron record?
Shadron had only won 1 conference. So you look at them and our conference as a general. They were up at Regis by 22 points in the second half last weekend. So you talk about a team that competes, gives everything they have, but that tells you how competitive our conference is. They lost a number of games by a few points. They're a lot like us. We had, I think, all but 3 games this year, teams that we played, we've had leads in the second half, that kind of stuff, and Shadron's a lot like that, especially at home. That's a tough place to play. I think twice in the last 20 years, could be wrong, maybe 3 times that we won at Shadron, period. I mean, it's a hard place to play. Most teams are obviously, everybody's finding that out. So, anything else? All right, good. Well, we'll get,
Do you want to mention their
Yeah, well, Logan had an all-district. We had a number of kids. You're killing me, Brad. I'm trying to be able to talk to a couple of recruits tonight and stuff. But no, we had a couple all-conference players on the academic side this year, and some of those carry over to an all-district honor, and Logan Ehlers was awarded an all-district academic, and now he actually gets in the pool as far as an academic All-American award goes. So to be a sophomore, you have to obviously be a big-time player. He led us in rebounding and scoring this year. That's kind of the number one thing, and he's a big-time student for us as well. And the conference sends off, I think, 2 or 3. The district has X amount, and then those go on to the national level as American All-American All-American academic awards. So we're excited about that. We'll let you know. We'll keep you up to date on that. I guess along that line too, I wanted to talk a little bit about, or could talk about Connor Koulis. I know a couple of you asked me a couple of weeks ago. I was going to talk about him a little bit. He did sign his second contract down in Australia this time, so he gets to travel to another side of the world, and we're excited for him. You know, he's you know, we'll talk about Troy here in a second, but you talk about a kid that's put in the time and the effort to reach your goals and your dreams and that kind of stuff. And once again, he's been part of the Hardrocker family, and will continue to be a part of the Hardrocker family. And I know a lot of you guys ask about him, so we're excited to see what he can do. He does start. He should be there now. He does start that league. The other one had just gotten over with, and another league that he does start playing in the middle of March or the first part of March. So he's excited about that, and I'll keep some more updates going on that too with our newsletters and things. So, okay, I'll get Troy Brady up here real quick. He's a young man that you know, kind of felt bad. I asked him today again, did you feel bad with everybody getting sick? He talked about that. He was kind of our first one that had to miss a game because of some sickness and stuff, and definitely went through the team. You know, there's no question about it. But he's a young man that has spoken once already. You know, he's one of the top freshmen in the league this year, and you know, one of the top players in the conference, honestly. You know, and the best part of it all, you know, we just talked about, he was the best freshman in the league, so we get 3 more opportunities to see him for 3 more years, and that's a lot of more big shot Brady's that are coming, that's for sure. And he can talk maybe about his horse games with his brother sometime. So, Troy Brady, come on up.
Hi, I'm Troy Brady, redshirt freshman from Highland Ranch, Colorado. I'm majoring in civil engineering, and yeah, like Coach said, I'll probably just talk a little bit about the Shadow game. It was a great end to our season. Obviously, a really exciting game for all of us, and you know, we haven't had the season that we had hoped for at the beginning, and I know Shadron hasn't had the season that they were probably hoping for. And both teams just felt like needed a win to end the season off on the right way. And man, it was a battle. So that was really fun. Those games are always the most fun to be in. And we made some big plays. All of us stepped up. You know, everybody came in and contributed, which was really good to see. And that's kind of just been our team this year. You know, like Coach said, we've fought through a lot of adversity, with injuries, with sickness. You know. And just to come out with a win in triple overtime, that was great. And it was great to do it for our seniors. Obviously, we're a really tight team. We all love each other, and to send them off on a good note, especially with Brian and Jordan playing so well in that game, that was just great to see. And I think we learned a lot this season as a team. We learned what it's going to take for us to win in this league. It's such a competitive league, like Coach said. And I think we've all grown as individuals, as a team, which is really good to see. And just that Shatter game, it's like, you know, nothing's going to keep us down. We're just going to keep working until we figure it out, you know. You can call me Big Shot Brady, but I missed one in the second overtime, 10 seconds left. Jake came and gave me a handoff, and I shot a 3 and missed. And when I saw it miss, I'm just like, oh my God, I lost this game. And then Wilford comes in and gets a big rebound, puts it back, ties up the game, and we get to go to another overtime. So it's just plays like that, you know. We all have each other's back. We're all going to pick each other up, and we're just going to keep fighting until, you know, we get the job done. So that's the mindset we're all going to have going into the off season. We're all going to get better as individuals, get better as a team, and I think we're all just really excited for next year and having another opportunity. So that's all I have. If any questions you guys might have, I'd love to hear them.
You ever played a 3 overtime game before?
Not that I can remember, you know, not one like that. But yeah, that was really fun.
Who taught you how to shoot?
Oh, my dad, he's big on, you know, having good form, and he drilled me a lot when I was little. And obviously my older brother, if you don't know, he was an all-conference player last year. He's a great shooter. So just trying to keep up with him, I think.
They both taught you about arch in your shot too, probably.
Yeah. My dad's a big believer in arch, it's all about the angles, we're math people, If it comes in at a higher angle, the basket's a lot bigger than if it's flat. That's at least what my dad always says, so.
Yeah, right.
Troy, what part of your game would you like to improve on for next year?
Like Coach said, I think like as a shooter, all the defenders are gonna be tight on me. So trying to get to the rim, finish at the rim better, and I think I did that a lot better towards the end of the season. I wasn't relying as much on my three, but yeah, just keep improving on that. Just finding different ways to score, different ways to help my team on the offensive end. Obviously, get better on the defense, get a little bigger, stronger in the offseason. That'll all help for the defensive side. But yeah, like getting to the hoop, making plays for myself and my teammates, that's what I think I need to keep working on in the offseason.
Sort of along those lines, what you gonna do this summer?
This summer, me and my brother, that's all we do is pretty much play basketball in the summer. I think I'll work a little with my dad in the morning, make some money that way, and then be at the gym. There's a good Pro-Am league in Colorado. A lot of professionals, some like ex-professionals that have played overseas. A lot of college guys. A lot of the RMAC, like Colorado teams, have teams in this Pro-Am league. And so me and Jack and Tristan and all the Colorado guys, we're gonna try to get a team for that so that we can keep playing some good competition in the summer. Just gonna keep trying to work on my game and get better. Anyone else?
As you look at the postseason tournament, if you were a betting man, I shouldn't use that one. If you were looking in your crystal ball, who do you think might come out of the men's tournament? Who do you think is the best team?
There's so many good teams. Fort Lewis won the regular season. They're really tough. Regis is a really talented team. On the men's side, it's like in this league, I feel like any given night, any team can beat any other team, and I think we've seen that. Like Coach said, Shaq comes up on Regis by 22 in the second half, and then they end up losing. But no, this league is so competitive that any team can come out of it. Mines is always really solid. They had some guys get hurt towards the end of the season, but you can't ever count them out. Maybe Fort Lewis if I had to choose one, just because they've really been playing good, especially the end of the year. But yeah, it's anyone's game really.
You sound like a coach.
I'm sure you had a lot of choices of where to go. Why did you choose here?
That's actually the exact opposite. I did not have a lot of choices coming out of high school. I wanted to play in the RMAC. I knew that because I'm from Colorado and all these schools are in Colorado. Even coming in South Dakota, a lot of the games we play are in Colorado, so my family can come watch me play. And that was a big part of where I wanted to go. So I was really dead set on playing in the RMAC. And so I worked out with a lot of the Colorado teams, and I emailed some of them, and I was just desperate to play in the RMAC. And none of them really wanted me. So towards the end of my senior year, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then it wasn't until May that Coach Henry and Coach Glenn started talking to me, and I was the last person to commit in our class. So I didn't commit till like mid-May, and thankfully I got this opportunity and was able to make the most of it. But yeah, so thank you to Coach Henry and Coach Glenn. I'm really happy that it worked out, and there's not a better team that I could have gotten to be a part of, and a better program and a better family. So it all really worked out well.
So after practice, you and Jake, do you have shoot-offs? Kinda?
So yeah, sometimes.
Who's the better shooter?
It depends on the day. Really.
Oh, quick.
I don't know. Jake's a great shooter. He probably beats me most of the time, but we keep it pretty close.
What causes a basketball to, it's like it's in the hoop and it spins around and it comes back out? That happens to
you guys a lot.
Yeah,
Why does that do that?
it's just the basketball gods, I think. Sometimes they just bat it back out. Yeah, a lot of shots are like that. Just in that Shackling game, at points, it just felt like everything was against us. You know, like Logan fouling out, Brian fouling out, and you know, maybe some of them were questionable calls, I think, but yeah, it's just like sometimes you just gotta keep fighting through it. You know, everything's against you, but yeah, I think we did a really good job of that. Anyone else? All right, thank you everybody. Good luck to our women tonight. Hopefully you guys can all watch the game online. But yeah, thank you for your support this whole season. It's been great.
Big shot Brady, our future head coach apparently. Right on. Good job, man. We appreciate it. And we're very proud of our scholar athletes here, so you guys thank you for being here today. We are really proud of you. I need to say thank you as we wrap up. Once again to Pancheros. They continue to treat us very well. We are very appreciative of our good relationship with them. Anita, Brad, thank you both for all of your work, always putting these sessions together and doing everything that we do. This does not happen without you. Some of you may have noticed we have finally posted our job to replace Sandy Carlson. We are seeking a new program director. That's out in many different venues, but you can find information about that on the Hardrock Club website. So if you know anybody who's interested, please direct them to our website at hardrockclub.org. And while they're there, they can also click the Give button and donate to scholarships for our student athletes that we are so proud of. So please do that. Our next luncheon will be next Tuesday here in this very room. We'll be having Subway next week, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you, everybody.